What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I have my hands on a 2011 Aston Martin Rapide. Now if you're unfamiliar with this car, this is a car that Aston Martin used to make. It's a four-door luxury GT car. You can take the family in it. It's a four-seater. Obviously it's an Aston Martin, so it's beautiful inside and out. Real quick, huge shout out and thank you to Foreign Cars Charlotte. They're providing this Aston Martin for today's video. Definitely check out their website. Not only do they have brand new Aston Martins, Bentleys, Maseratis, and Alfa Romeos, they also have an insane selection of pre-owned exotics and supercars, so definitely check them out. So in today's video, this car is around $65,000. Original MSRP started at $200,000, but now you can pick these up for around the $60,000 to $70,000 mark. Good shaped cars, you know, lower mileage, nothing crazy. And I've seen quite a few YouTube videos recently on the Aston Martin Rapide. It's been a car that I've always thought was really cool. I remember them sitting in the dealerships brand new years ago when I was in college. So it's a really cool car to check out and test drive to see what this car has to offer. So real quick, I have all four doors open. This has the Aston Martin Swan doors, as you can tell. They don't open out like a normal door. You can see this really sharp angle. They open at like a 20-degree angle or something to clear curbs, and it just looks so cool. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and check out the rear seats first, because that is what separates the Rapide from the traditional Aston Martin lineup. So back here, we still have doors that open just the same. You can see that angle, and then of course on the interior, I mean, we have real wood trim here, which is beautiful. We have aluminum accents. Everything is very high quality leather, Bang & Olufsen and stitching. Then we do have the tech package with the screens in the headrest, and then just a crazy look. It's a four-seater like I mentioned, and you have pretty much bucket seats in the back. So I have the seat set to my height. I'm 5'11", and let's hop in the back here. It is a little weird getting into. It just looks different, but let's hop in now. So now in the back seat here, it's not the roomiest car, you know, it's not like maybe an Audi RS7 or something along those lines, but the seat has some good comfort to it. I have plenty of headroom. I actually have maybe 2 inches above my head. The seat back is a little straight up and down, and it doesn't recline at all, so you can't go any farther back, but not too bad. Let's close the door now. So now in here, it is a tighter cabin in the back. This is pretty close. It's a lot different than a normal hatchback sedan like this, but I am fitting in here nicely. You know, I have knee room. My knees pretty much touch the seat, and my feet go underneath the seat as well. So not too bad. It is a little confined, given you have this massive centerpiece right here, and you do have a lot of controls and cup holders, and then actually a ton of space in here. And one thing very cool to look at, you can actually turn this dial to go from your heated seats on the passenger, and then you just rotate it to the left, and now we're on our cooled seats, and then just tapping the center button, it goes from the right side to this left side, and then same thing, to the right is heat, and to the left is cool. So very neat how this works. This is aluminum as well. And then we have dome light button right here. You just tap that, and the dome light on the pillar turns on. And then if you tap any of these buttons, the screen comes up here for your fan speed, and you can adjust everything. And then these climate control vents are actually in a really good spot. They're pretty much right there. So you actually have some amenities back here. It is neat. Again, it's a little tight, you know, the seat is a little straight up, but for cruising in it, it's not too bad. And then opening up the door, we have that Swan door, and they are on gas struts. We actually have one on the top and the bottom, so it assists very easily. But just look at how beautiful this thing is crafted. So now, let's hop into the front seat, and we're gonna talk about power in a second, but we have a 12-cylinder engine. So a massive engine underneath that hood. But now hopping into the interior, so one thing really cool, this is the valet key real quick. It does have a glass key as well. So with my foot on the brake, all you do is slide this into the slot. And that is how it roars to life. It is pretty cool with the glass key. It'll say the Aston Martin logo on there. But with that, we can grab the door. Closes very nicely. And then now to talk about the interior of the Aston Martin Rapide. It is really nice in here. I mean, everything is covered in leather and Alcantara, even the entire headliner. We have a stitching line right in the center here, fully covered in Alcantara. The entire pillar is the same material. Beautiful brown leather on the top, Bang & Olufsen audio, and then in the center we have really nice wood trim here, and then all of this right here, these are all aluminum buttons. We have quite a few buttons here for the radio controls, and then a climate control here, more radio controls, and this right here will turn on the screen. The screen will come up, and then we have the whole display screen right here. So this is not touchscreen, but I can use the dial down here and just go into everything. And this is basically your navigation system. That is all the screen does. There's no other functions than that. But really cool, you have that pops up. But then just a good look at all the buttons. And then down here, the same controls that you saw in the back. Just doing that for your cooled seats and then heated seats. And then tapping it, it goes to the other side. and it does the same thing. That is just a really cool touch. And then we have lock, unlock, and parking sensors. And then when we look at the tach right here, I love how Aston Martin's have this with the backwards tach. Very neat how that goes with your speedometer over on the left side. And then we have a small steering wheel, actually. This is really a cool feeling. We have paddle shifters right here for the 6-speed transmission, and then just some other controls. But what do you guys think of the Aston Martin Rapide? This car, $65,000 for a 4-door, 4-seater Aston Martin. That is a heck of a bargain. This car was, again, $250,000 new. I'm sure spec'd out, you know, it was roughly that price. But you can see how it looks in the back now. And then the center console has a neat look. And then just pressing the key, that shuts it off. And then opening the door up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trunk, because again, this is a hatchback style vehicle. If we just press the button right here and then just lift up the tailgate, we have a lot of space in the back. Definitely can fit luggage and anything you'd like. We have the headset controls for those rear screens. And then this shelf you can actually pull back and get out of the way. And then you have even more space. And then one thing very cool, if we go ahead and open up the back doors here, we can press this button right there. It unlocks the seat. Just give it a pull and it automatically slides open like that. And now we actually have flat area to fit a lot of items, so you can just get a really good look at everything. And with the hood open, we can see the 6-liter 12-cylinder engine that powers the Aston Martin Rapide. This thing cranks out 470 horsepower and 433 pound-feet of torque. I'm interested to see how this type of power plant drives this kind of car. It is a lot larger than a Vantage or a DB11 or something like that. But just look at the massive size you get with this 12-cylinder, just in reference to my hand here. I mean, this is a huge, huge engine, and from what I've heard, this is actually 2 V6 engines from Ford bolted together to create this V12 engine. And speaking of the engine, I think this car has some exhaust work done to it, but let's get a quick listen as to what a 6-liter 12-cylinder sounds like from Aston Martin. Alright guys, so we are now in the Aston Martin Rapide. Let's fire this 12-cylinder up. So real quick, this is actually a 5.9 liter 12-cylinder. They just say 6.0, that's kind of how Aston Martin badges it. And this car only has 22,000 miles on it. And then that screen that it popped up, you basically use everything with a joystick. So a little bit older technology in this car. Pretty easy to get comfortable. And just sitting in now, getting my bearings with it, it's comfortable sitting in here. You have pretty good armrest. Of course, everything's leather. The headliner and everything is really nice to see. The buttons are all aluminum, this little waterfall. The color combination is really nice in this car. All right, so setting off, foot on the brake, and you just hit the button for drive, and it basically drives like a normal automatic, nothing too crazy. Visibility getting out now, it's really roomy feeling. The windshield is lower than a normal sedan would be that you would normally expect to be in, but it kind of has that same coupe feeling to it that a traditional Aston Martin is going to have. These windows are huge, and you even have the window way up here, so visibility out the front is really good. Looking over your right shoulder, the rear windows do a good job. The rear end is a little hunkered down feeling, not quite as open as a normal sedan is going to be. Looking over your left shoulder is really good, and the rear view mirror is actually really close to you. This just feels like it's right next to my head. So a little bit different. But as far as driving now, I mean, this is a $65,000 Aston Martin, a 4-door sedan. This is just crazy what you're getting. You're getting an exotic, crazy $250,000 car for really normal money. This is on par with an Audi S4 or a Mercedes C-Class or something. It's nothing too out of the ordinary for pricing goes. Well, this is really roomy and comfortable. If I hit the button right here for suspension, I believe that is a sport suspension. I think it just gets stiffer, I'm not 100% sure. But in this setting, I can definitely feel some bumps, and then going back out of it, oh yeah, that definitely softens up a little bit. But as of now, it drives like a normal car. Like, this is very normal and comfortable feeling. I do like how, I mean, the materials you get in an Aston Martin, of course, are top notch. That engine, a little touchy throttle to it, but in normal suspension, I'm going over train tracks now. That is crazy. That is buttery smooth. Wow. And this is almost a 10-year-old car. You know, we're in 2020. 21s are coming out soon. This is 2011. But, I mean, this is a very comfortable feeling, smooth to drive, luxurious car. That is a bargain. Comment down below. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. For $65,000, can you think of a better exotic four-door car than this? There is nothing better than this, I think, for that kind of price. That's just a crazy value for what you're getting with an Aston Martin. And then as far as just accelerating slowly, letting it shift by itself, everything shifts exactly like you would expect. There's no delay or anything like that. It is as comfortable as I would expect. The tack is a little weird seeing it going the other way than you're used to. But, I mean, this drives like a normal car. Giving it some gas, it downshifts. I mean, it takes a little time just to do the shift like any normal automatic. So it actually drives just like a normal car like that. So now, if we go into sport mode now, and we'll hit the paddle shifter, now we're in manual mode. 12-cylinder engine. The last 12-cylinder I drove was a Lamborghini V12. Well, let's do another shift just to see what some acceleration is like from second gear. That gets up and goes. It's just a very smooth power delivery. When you have 12 cylinders firing, that's such a smooth linear power band because you have so many multiple explosions going off. But, and it sounds really, really good. This is a family car. That sounds really good. The transmission isn't the quickest thing out there, but I mean, it's quick enough. It just feels like a normal torque converter automatic. Downshift, there's a little delay, but not too bad. I love how smooth and how it sounds. Man, and I'm in a four-door car. That is the crazy thing. Wow. But then when we do toggle it back into just normal drive, that's normal automatic, take out of sport mode, the whole car, I'm sure you can hear that, just tones down, and then just kind of getting comfortable in it. I mean, it's a luxury car. This is crazy. This is really good value, and it's nice to drive. The things work well. The only thing you're sacrificing, the screen here is very outdated. It only does navigation. Your climate controls all come up here. Like if I adjust the fan speed right here, it just comes up on the screen. So it's very simple the way it works. There's nothing too fancy. But yeah, overall, this is definitely a cool car as we get a Lamborghini Urus right there. And we are in a little bit of a sandwich. We got the Bentley Continental behind us and a Maserati up there. So all sorts of crazy cars out here today. Oh wow, sport mode, wow. That throttle response is way different in sport mode. That is night and day. All right, I think we're about getting close to the end of the test drive. We're gonna go back into manual and sport. We can do sport suspension. But I like it. It's got a good blend of everything. It is way cooler and much more different than another $65,000 sedan that's out on the market. And you get a lot of it. You get a bespoke Aston Martin, a hand-built English car, beautiful materials. I mean, everything. The quality of this car, everything's really holding up very nicely. Everything just looks really good. The leather, like I said, fantastic shape. And you really are getting a nicely appointed, premium-feeling vehicle. So that's just a little first, second gear. We got the Urus sitting next to us. Man, makes some good sounds. But I think that's gonna wrap it up. Driving around in a $65,000 Aston Martin Rapide. Is this the ultimate luxury sedan on a bargain, but you're still getting an exotic, something crazy? Comment down below, I wanna hear your thoughts. I certainly think this is a heck of a bargain. 65 grand for a four-door Aston Martin for the family. What more do you want? Once again, huge shout out and thank you to Foreign Cars Charlotte. They're providing this Aston Martin for today's video. Definitely check out the link to their website. They have brand new Aston Martins, Maseratis, Bentleys, Alfa Romeos, and a beautiful selection of pre-owned luxury and exotic cars just like this Rapide. So anyways, that is it guys. Give the video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you next video.